The southwest of Nigeria has been the subject of attention since all the state governors in the region has announced the formation of Operation Amotekun. Stiff opposition has come from leaders of the Miyetti Allah, a group that is supposed to represent the cattle headers in Nigeria's north. Now, what are their grievances? They said that they were not carried along, and this is making them find issues with Operation Amotekun. Some analysts have been able to point out the hypocrisy in criticizing Operation Amotekun. Surprisingly, one of those that stated out, stating that it was so illegal for the governor to have appointed Operation Amotekun, was Nigeria Attorney General Abubakar Malami. The governor stated that nobody can stop the region from protecting itself. Curiously, while so many people have been talking and debating on this topic, the traditional rulers have been mute about it. For initiatives meant to protect the lives and properties in Yoruba land, the traditional rulers, who are custodians of customs and traditions, are expected to be at the forefront. Now, this is why Ekohotblog is sitting down with traditional rulers to understand their silence and also know their stance on what Operation Amotekun is. Stay tuned, guys. Do not go nowhere because we'll be right back to find out what all of this is all about. My name is Okoliwe Stella.
The Western Security Network, codenamed Amotekun, may be championed by 6 governors, but it is a community approach. Hence, the involvement of a community is also crucial to the outfit. Ekohotblog felt it was necessary to know the standpoint of the people in the communities as represented by the traditional rulers. In an attempt to get opinions, Ekohotblog paid visits to 6 traditional rulers who had heard their views on the matter of Amotekun and the brouhaha surrounding the security outfit. These rulers are Oba Kabiru Kolawole Alani Adelaja Agbabiaka Osolo of Isolo and head of Okota family, Oba Sefiu Olatunde Adewale, the Oluepe of Ekpe Kingdom, Oba Abdul Semiu Orimadegun Kasali Emuboriade I, the Ade Borua of Igbobo Kingdom, Oba Kamorudeen Ishola Animashaun, Arolugbade Elepe II, the Oba Oloja of Ekpe land, Oba Balogun Asumo Ganiu Aderibibe Jamade I, the paramount ruler of Odo Anyodelu Kingdom, Oba Babatunde Ogunlaja JP, the Aladeshoyin of Noforija Kingdom.
Thank you.
Delving straight into what their take was on the issue of Amotekun, they all agreed that Amotekun is a good thing and should be allowed to stay, at least for the safety of the people.
Amotekun is an organization that is for security of the Southwest and is well supported by the traditional rulers because it was safety of our people. Because as you know, we cannot just close our eyes and let some of these kidnappers or these people who are kidnapping or doing nonsense towards our people. So we have to defend it. It's for security, as far as I'm concerned, and it's accepted.
It's a good idea because for now we need it. And that is why the 6 state governors of the Yoruba land decided to talk together and see what they can do to reduce the crime rate in our area. You cannot fold our hand until you are being killed. Many people have lost their life for no reason. Some people have been kidnapped for no reason. And a lot of other crimes that needs to curb so that it will not cause tribal war.
They stressed on how the issue is being politicized and how that should not be so.
Amotekun issue should not have been politicized. It's question of security. Before introduction of Amotekun, the local native authority outfit in the north was and is still very active. So also in the south too.
It was emphasized that Amotekun is not here to replace the Nigerian police force, but to only be a body assistance to the force.
We don't need to deceive ourselves in this country. The police are trying, but they have a lot of shortcomings. They don't have manpower. We'll be hearing it on TV, on news, so it's not new to anyone. Even they don't have modern equipment to fight crime. For our governors in Southwest to come up together and say we need a security outfit to protect our people. That's why they are elected. They have to protect their people. And that's what they did.
It is an arrangement that emanated from the need for us to put up an apparatus in place to ensure the security of lives and property, knowing fully well that what we have on ground in terms of those constitutionally empowered to provide that security are overwhelmed presently, which calls for the community policing. Amotekun is in line with that. But the dimension and then the approach to it is another issue that we will discuss.
According to them, there should be no doubt as to whether the traditional rulers are fully in support of Amotekun, especially as the traditional fathers, that is the Oni of Ife and Alafin of Oyo, are fully behind the creation of a security outfit.
Amotekun is one of the security the outfit in the south to western region, and to me and the other colleagues over, we are all in support because our leader, our father in the royal platform, they've already supported it.
The Yoruba Obas, we have a forum that we call YOF, Yoruba Oba Forum. We met at Ibadan and we issue a communique because I'm the National Publicity Secretary for that group. And we say Amotekun must stay.
With all of this acclaimed support by the traditional rulers in view and their Oba colleagues, one would wonder why the Obas and chiefs in the southwestern part of Nigeria are yet to come to declare their support publicly as a collective.
The Obas doesn't talk anyhow. And silently, how do you know you have never said anything? We know what you are saying, not until you come to the press or to shout on the radio. Once you give them verdict, go out, campaign it, let people give support. You are all supporting it because invariably, by one way or the other, it affected majority of us.
Well, that will soon happen, but it has been happening little by little. Amotekun is still young, so definitely as it goes on, it will soon happen.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of forums which they have been discussing this issue. Not everything will be exposed. Sure. You understand me? So it has been discussed. If it has not been discussed, our governors will not come out to join together for the Southwest that we need this thing. And they are our people. We are the one who voted them as our governor. They are there to prevent us. They are there to see day to day of running the affairs of the community of each and even each state. So that's why they are there. And once they see that this thing is okay for their people, we will support them. Because if we are not going to support them, we won't put them in. They are well supported and we are well consulted.
The problem we have in Southwest or even in Nigeria, each state have different law for their Obas and chief. They call it Oba and chief law, right? Yeah. So we don't have one body because the law they applied in Oyo State is quite different from the one in Lagos State. You understand? So we never have anybody that consists of Southwest Oba that we meet. You understand? But at the same time, most of Obas, they were being careful in issuing any statement. Because if not, this one is coming up now. If you do anything now, they will call it anti-government or anti-party. Maybe it's one party that is ruling your state, The next thing, maybe that governor does not like that idea. They'll say, I don't mind that, Baba. Maybe it's been sponsored by somebody. So it's the one they call us in that will always give them advice. If they don't call us, that's why I said you have to be reserved.
Maybe the method is wrong. The political people usually consult the traditional rulers in their different jurisdictions before going to take any decision. So, by coming together to make general pronouncement, that is what has not been done. But totally, it's not something new. And because of the security issues, we all support the Amotekun something.
With all these many furrow for traditional rulers, the question as to whether they were fully consulted during the ideation and launching of the Amotekun outfit arises.
If they are not consulted, you cannot see any of people during the launching. You cannot see a lot of people during the launching. So definitely once they have been consulted, it will go around the Obas.
If you listen to what Babalafin have said and what Oni have said, it will show to you that majority of us has been consulted before the establishment of Amotekun. And then you should remember that the governor of a state is representing the interests of his state, and he cannot do what we what people will not support. So bringing in Amotekun to safeguard you and your property, I don't think they need to even consult you to some certain level before that one is being done, because we trust them, and that is why we voted for them, and that is why they are there.
Before they went out, long years ago, we have been discussing about this security of this Amotekun. Although they just give you a new name, and by that time, we are saying we need local security for the security of our people. So we are well consulted.
And what really happened is that consultation have different dimensions. There's a lot of consultation between the traditional rulers, the CDC, the CDA, with the governor of each state. Because since we've been having all these security challenges, we'll be telling them, let's set up our own security outfit to protect our people. Though then we are talking of vigilante, we never talk of Amotekun. So each traditional rulers in their various states have been discussing with their governors. But I think that's what they put together, because they have their own forum where they met as a Southwest. I think Fayemi or Akeredolu is the new chairman of Southwest governor. I think that's what gave birth to Amotekun, that they need to unify together and fight this thing so that they'll have one symbol. So that even if they have challenges in another state, the one in Lagos can also complement what is going on in Ogun. So, though during the launching we are not really consulted, but after looking at it and looking at the security challenges we have in this state and the nation, we supported it. So, we are in support.
The way the traditional rulers work, not on all issues that everybody should be consulted. But if there is any emergency something, some people can go out of the traditional rulers and inform the others later.
Without making an extant position on it, what I would rather say to that is that there's still need for wider consultation. The reason why some other traditional rulers have not spoken will be attributed to that as one of the factors. But be that as it may, it still doesn't hurt to the fact that they are not, or that they will not support it. But we still need to do more consultation so that we can arrive at a position jointly and see how we can work together to make it effective.
Looking at the present situation of security in Nigeria, should local community policing be brought back into the Nigerian threshold as was done before 1966?
It's the better option. Our politicians know, but because of their selfish interest, they will not support it. The constitution we are using today has a lot of defects that need amendment. When they are campaigning, they will tell us when we get to Abuja, we are going to talk, we are going to amend the constitution. Have they ever talked about it? What we are still using is a constitution drafted by the military. Is it not a Abacha constitution that when they are doing national conference, we are still using in Nigeria to today? Have they amended anything? They will only go there to go and amend the section that suits their purpose.
Well, if you go to the other foreign countries, you will see that, let's say in other foreign countries, you will see every state has its own police. Yes, we have been crying for this community police for long.
On that, we have been on it for quite some time since the civilian administration take over from the military. It has been the yearning of some of us, particularly from the southwest, where we, and then I think with the problem we have in the northeast and some part of the north, and even in the south, the southeast, even on the south, we now begin to have change of mind. But you see, that idea now begins to gain support. We now have states in the north saying that they will support creation of state police. Initially, arguments were flying here and there regarding whether politicians will hijack it to support, whether it can be turned into, like what we have in the case of Amotekun issue, saying some people saying yes, it's going to be an avenue for people to be, asking for succession.
When you talk of federal government, to me, if there is community policing, it's going to even assist the federal government, because there are so many, the rate of crime in our country deserves individual community to have community policing. And I believe as time goes on, during the time we are talking of, we are talking about Agui Rosi period and blah blah blah. Blah. There is what happened before they create civil defense. It's something like that time that made those in power accepted that that should be civil defense, and they now work hand in hand with the federal government. I'm sure with time, when everything gets clear to everybody, the same thing will happen. They will give full support to Amotekun.
Yes, we are all in support of community police because they will know us, we will know them more than any other person. I know my tribes. If anything is being done, criminal something happen in the Solona, and they have a community policing, it will even be easier for them to search them out than any other police who doesn't know the way out of my community.
Not saying that totally. What I'm saying in terms of the security outfit, each area can have their own method. Even in the north, they still have their own outfit on local basis. So what is wrong in having it here? Maybe it's only the name Amotekun.
One controversy that followed the announcement of Amotekun was a statement made by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, which we might note was later withdrawn. We asked the rulers their opinions on the AGF's initial statement and whether they think the statement was made to align with the Miyetti Allah group.
Only God knows. But what we are after is that Amotekun is going to operate. He is not representing us. He is not the state government, though he's in the position to advise the federal government on what they should do. But we have answered him that no, what he is thinking is quite different. Amotekun is not political. It's not political. both members of all the political party in each state, they were all in support. Either APC, PDP, or whatever, they are in support.
I won't say it's doing that to protect the mighty Allah, really, but it's using that to satisfy his boss, which is Mr. President. You understand? Because it's the one that appointed him, and he has to dance to his tune. You understand? You know, this government we are into now, they need to come up with truth. So they must show seriousness when it comes to security. We should not play politics when it comes to security. Our life is in danger. And that's why Malami, well, we've read a lot. We don't know whether it's true, but we learned that he has been retreating his statement that people maybe misinterpret what he said.
Tell you, it's a human being. It may be he was told before, or he may not have anything about it. So don't take him wrong. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Everything is on explanation and round table talk. So he's a human being.
To be political about the statement that the Attorney General, because the fact of the case is not before me. I will not outrightly condemn his position. I will prefer a situation where I will have access to what information that he has gotten that, prompt him to make such. But generally, I want to just talk generally, comments on what he said. I would say, well, much as he is in a position to say that, maybe he should have maybe consult more and ask questions before, knowing fully well that people will interpret his statements either way.
Malami said, Amotekun, they must make sure there is a law backing whatever they want to do in respect of security, according to what I read. Initially, it was misinterpreted. And along the line, they put the record straight. If you remember, there was a meeting few days back, the meeting of all the governors and some, and including the Attorney General of the Federation. So I think the outcome of that meeting made it clear that he's not opposing Amotekun. He's just trying to educate them that they must enact a law. There must be a law that will allow Amotekun to stay.
I feel he made the mistake. He made the statement ignorantly because he doesn't know the full meaning of what Amotekun is. It's just to combat the security situation. It's not meant for any other hidden agenda. Maybe he was thinking of political something. It's not political.
One person whose statement was most anticipated was that of the All Progressive Congress national leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. His initial silence had elicited threats as regards his position come 2023. Why was such importance attached to his making a statement?
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a leader that has been recognized not only in the Southwest, but across board. And that's why he's named as the national leader of the ruling party. And if he is seen as a leader, one of a leader in the Southwest, and he has not spoken, and with the level of his commitment to the government of the day in Nigeria, we will see that a lot of people will want him to say something before they want his commitment. They want to see because they see him as a leader. And he has done that. if that statement you said has been released is true. From what he said,
Some political pundits have faulted the national leader, arguing that he decided to sit comfortably on the fence concerning the matter. Is the APC stalwart only being politically correct for maintaining a neutral ground?
My opinion is that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed is right because he's a national leader. So that's how he has to talk. So I think he's right.
from what he said, he has said my mind too. It is not as if he's not in support of the arrangement. Like I said, all he's saying is that there are areas for us to work on, which we have neglected to work on. Which I think is a very clear statement. As far as I am concerned, let us do the needful. Let us work on, if we believe in Nigeria, we want Nigeria to work, we should try as much as possible to see how we can to work to the line of the Constitution. Let the rule of law be our guidance, and we will see that we'll get to results that will be beneficial to all of us.
When you are talking about Asiwaju, he's an intelligent man. He do listen very well, and he knows what he's doing, and people will understand him. Not until Asiwaju tell you to go before you know you have to go. So that what some people doesn't see in him. He's an intelligent man. I don't see anything bad in what he's saying. You understand me? And as an elderly man, a politician, somebody who is very popular, I can call him part of those who are in control of this country, should have a reserve. He should have a reserve. So he's trying to reserve some comments. To study everything before you finally say a word.
If I can get him very well, I know him and I can interpret what he means. What he means is that he's saying Amotekun is not a new outfit. It's being introduced to combat the situation which we find ourselves. I think that is what he means. Maybe politically it means something else, but I don't see any politics in what he said.
You see, that's why I say most of what we are doing in Nigeria is on politics. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is a good man, he's a visionary, he's a man that we all love. I think if you read what he said, it's just been political. He's been careful. Because already the North are threatening him that if he should support Amotekun directly, you may not have the chances of 2023.
Well, to my own view, there is nothing political on it because, as a father, a leader of the nation, you don't have 100 cows and you allow one to get missing among the cows. So you need to harmonize. You need to see how it will not affect both sides. I don't see anything wrong with what you said.
In spite of the technicalities and red tapes, what can be done by the 6 southwestern governors and others at the forefront of Amotekun to make the security outfit better and subsequently get approval ratings from the federal government?
There should be a law. They should make sure that there is a law backing what they are doing. These Amotekun issues. The governors know the right thing to do. It's like I want something from you now. It's either I put it in writing, send it to you, or you cannot call. If I need something from you, you cannot come to me and tell me that what you need from me, come and collect it. It means that we request for it, and I'm sure by the time the governors take it up, I don't think there'll be something difficult in what we are arguing.
They should create leave room for more consultation. Let us explore that and let us see how we can work on that so that the aims and objectives of forming that body can be realized. It's a novel thing, welcomed by all of us, because we believe that security of lives and property goes a long way in guaranteeing the development of any nation. So, which is why we will not want to joke with it.
The governor needs to carry traditional rulers along in their decision making, especially when it comes to a volatile issue like this. If not because of the love we have for our people, most of us will just keep quiet, will not talk. But now people have advised them they should go and legalize it in various state houses of assembly. Make it a law. Once you make it a law, you have to do your law to suit your people and to make sure that you don't risk the life of the people that voted you in. And that's why I give kudos to Akeredolu. Look at the election is very close. The man said, if this is what is going to rob him for a second time, he will sustain this Amotekun. That's a man of integrity.
What we need to do is the governors should come together, put politics away, address it squarely, take everybody together, the traditional rulers, and then legalize the Amotekun. I'm not soliciting for regional police, but something to combat the present bad situation, which the government has not been able, to combat. So if you say another way to combat it, then we all should be ready, whether it's Amotekun or any name they give to it.
The federal government have never told you that there won't be anything called Amotekun. They are only trying to look at it, to comment on it, and to hear what result or the reply people is going to give on them. And we have told them, since such a thing is happening in the north, in the east, there's nothing bad if we in the western area of the country also have our own way of taking care of ourselves.
My advice to all of us is that we should be very cautious at the same time, particularly leaders and those in authority. Their comments goes a long way on an issue like this. A lot of our people don't know what it takes to put in certain things in place. Some people don't even believe that we have a law, even though it may not be perfect. But once there's law in place, you are expected to know it. Some people don't know that we need to follow certain process. And for those of us that know, that's why we should try as much as possible to be cautious in our comments, so that a lot of people will not, out of our comments, go astray.
The regional approach to address the security is a good initiative, one that is highly commendable and must be embraced. Ekohotblog, the place where we give you the best information that you need happening around the society, 100%. You all need to keep watching and do not forget to subscribe. My name is Okoliwe Stella.